I'm going to demonstrate how to take some 4-gauge wire and add some lugs. These are ordered from Amazon, 4-gauge lugs. These will be crimped over the ends, and I'll peel back the insulation. So I'll start with this wire. What I do is I want the wire to go slightly past the bend here, and I ideally want the insulation to be right under the edge of this overhang here. You can see that overhang, that widening. I'd rather the wire not to be exposed. So I'm going to do a little scoring here. Right there. Okay, I see where I need to cut. Take my utility knife and run it around. Until I see the wire. This is pretty thin insulation on here. It's easy to pull off and to cut through. Okay, I can see my wire through there now, so I'll pull it off. See if my length is about right. That looks good. So I have the vise open just with the jaws just enough to slide that lug up to where it expands. And once I get it lined up in there, I push the wire till the copper's not exposed, and wiggle it a little bit, make sure it's seated well, and then I start tightening. And I pretty much tighten it until it won't go anymore. You'll see a lot of different methods that are used on YouTube. Some involve soldering. I don't want to mess with that. I don't have a torch. I find that these are very strong. I think it will be just fine. I'm not that particular. And it's not moving. It's a very strong connection. Very strong connection. So I'm confident that this will be able to handle the amount of current. 120 amps, I think, is what it draws. So it should be just fine. Now, on my configuration, I want both of the lugs to be lined up, like on this one. They're both lined up, as you can see. Your configuration might be different. So I just need to repeat on the other end what I just did. Rinse and repeat. I go right where it's about dropping off here, and I see that's right. There's a little letter here, E, right on the edge of that. There we go. See the wires exposed. Wire's clean. If for some reason that wire would be dirty, you'd probably want to cut the wire a bit shorter. Or you can take sandpaper and sand it down. Now this wire is sticking out just a little bit of insulation exposed. That's not a problem for me. Oh, before I mess up, make sure they're lined up. Okay, they're both lined up. It's not a problem for me if it's sticking out a little bit, because I'm wrapping these connections with tape anyway, because this is exposed, somebody can touch it. I want to make sure that these lugs are wrapped in tape anyway. And I was able to force it in there. It's nice and tight, and the insulation is not exposed. So tighten it up. It's nice and firm. I don't need to put all my body weight on it. I just need to make sure it doesn't want to turn anymore. I know that it's mashed down then. So there we go. Got both ends done. Looks good. So I've got a few more to do, and I'll get at that. So that's it for how I crimp. Now to cut the wires, I just had some wire cutters, electrical wire, lineman's pliers. So that's what I use to cut them. And that's it. So carry on.